Good morning, guys. Time to get after it. We got a nice morning coffee, and I'm ready to get after it today. Probably won't do too much trading today, as you've noticed. The markets have been pretty crazy. There's really been no direction, right? In the New York session, really no direction. But we'll talk about the markets in a second. I just want to tell you guys that I'm glad to be here. Glad you guys could come and follow along and join me. As you know, I'm still waking up, so if you're not, good for you. But I'm still moving the body parts, getting moving. I will say that, trading is very challenging, right? There is no easy way to go about it. You can do all the right things. You can do all the prep work with your strategy. You can do all the, fundamental analysis, and you can have all the discipline in the world. And I consider myself a very disciplined individual with the things that I've done in my life. But trading will still get the best of you no matter who you are. And something to note is, even with all the lessons that is out there in YouTube, or that, let me see if I can pull this up. All the lessons that are out there, there we go, boom. Even the things that I provide, just to provide a basic guideway to, starting in futures trading or any trading whatsoever. The trading psychology, I left that open for the week now to allow everybody access to that. It was a Father's Day present to everybody, just so that even if you're not a father, I think this is a good lesson to watch. So I'm glad that I was able to put that out there, and I thought it was a good thing for you guys to see. But like I said, having all this knowledge put into your brain, all these other folks that are able to teach you, and you can learn different things, you may still not be successful in the markets, and it takes time. And hopefully people like me and other traders out there are there to help you, guide you, so it is a lot easier. But I know, because man, yesterday was one of those days. It was just so frustrating. It was probably one of the first days that I've ever had the feeling that it wasn't my discipline, it wasn't, my emotions. It was, the market was just so horrible that you would be in one position, get your trade, get your profits, okay, that's when you're done, that's good. You're looking at other trades and you're just practicing them, like I've done with you guys, is I've put like the risk reward forecasting tool, and man, it's just like, what the heck? You're going here and then nothing, and then it flips to another side, then nothing, and then it flips and flip and flip and flip and flip. It is absolutely infuriating. So then, what do you do? Because people are taking those same trades, right? The day before I was doing that, that's why I didn't actually do any of the practicing. I did more of the live stuff the day before, because I'm trying to scale my accounts with prop firms. And when you're scaling your accounts, there's really two mindsets to it at sometimes, because when you're doing the eval, at least for me, I'm trying to get it over with. I'm trying to get that done and move on to the next phase. It's not the ideal way to do it. Nobody likes, and nobody, like, when I'm telling people that start out, that's not the way you want to do it. You want to take your time and work your way through it like you would if it was your own live money. It takes longer. It takes significantly longer. But here's the thing: you will end up passing that, and you will get the payout if you just keep that consistency. And keep that consistency. If it takes a month, so be it. A month to roughly, 18x your money, 18 times your money. That's a pretty good return. Okay, you're looking at a very significantly good return, or depending on whatever account you buy, that you'll never see in live trading, because you won't, unless you have the capital up front. You may blow it before you get to that opportunity. So with the scaling, if you can get all those, then you have multiple 18 times your money situations. Man, I was blowing through let's see. Oh, I see. I'll fix it. Looks like somebody said that I lost my sound. Let me get this fixed. Let me know how that is. I fixed it. Should be good now. La 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 la. Jingle bells. Jingle bells. Hopefully y'all can hear that. 'Cause I know I do. Nothing yet. Still cutting out. What? You're good on my end, no issues. Oh, well, Scotty, that may just be you. Something you may have to quit the app and then pop back in. Okay, because I fixed it. It should be fixed. All right. But okay, good. Otherwise, this scaling thing, it can get very challenging. So that's like my next phase, and it kind of ties back to the markets of being choppy and stuff like that. And yes, there is a part of a psychological thing. There's like if you see the choppy markets, then stay out. They're choppy. There's no point in being in a choppy market if you know it's just going to be, it's going to be a shit show. Okay, I don't even know if I can cuss on YouTube. So now it's in there. So I'll see if I have to cut it out later, but I don't care. It is what it is. But yeah, just know that even like me, I still have those issues. There's people that make tons and billions and thousands of dollars, whatever it is, and they have the same issues. This niche that I'm doing on side of me doing my live account is very difficult. It's very challenging, almost to the point that I want to throw my head through a wall, because I'll have my funded accounts and my live account just doing their consistent thing, getting consistent on their payouts, and then you have these little evals in there that start to tear down your confidence. And I guess that kind of comes back to the point if today's not the day, today is not the day. You forcing it every day, because it takes me like 2 days to a week to pass an eval. It doesn't take me that long, but that's because I have a strategy down. I know what I'm doing when I'm trading, and so I know it happens fast. But sometimes you can overforce those, and that's where people can get into trouble. I've been in trouble with that before. Now I have a set amount that I have for the month that I allow myself to buy evals, or you go into a bad rabbit hole. And I want you to know that is a possibility. You can go into a bad rabbit hole, and I don't want you to do that. Because that's not financially 18xing your money. That's possibly financially negative xing your money. Now, I know we're here for the charts today, and that's darn right. That's what I'm going to pull up. But I just wanted to give that little spiel this morning because, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing whatsoever when it comes to trading. And the recent weeks, really, it's been this whole week. Oh, it's just been a real crapshoot. But if you can make it in this market and survive the trading during this time period, then I guarantee you will come out the other end very successful. Very successful. Now, there is a theory like you get so good at this crappy market that you can't trade any other market because you're like, I only know how to trade crap. How do I trade this other way again? I totally am so confused. Like, that is a very good possibility, but let's hope not. And it's just an easy, once the market returns to some sort of stability, which is ironic because I call it an emotionally, an emotional child, so very irrational child. Maybe we'll get back to some basics on it. It'll be nice. So we can see a run and we capture that run. So I got the chart pulled up here now. I'm going to pull it on over. Move it on over. Move it on over. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa there. Okay. So this morning, today's tough, right? We've led into yesterday, Chop City. We had that run up, and that was just a relief run on ES specifically. And that was just because, let's see. There we go. Now I pulled up the chart here. Right now I'm looking at MES. We had that nice yesterday's pop down. It was a good spot to take that run. I'm going to turn all this crap off so we can just look at the chart. Right? We had the nice run down. South Korea market apparently went down like 10%. But, overall, they're up like 80% for the year. So I wouldn't... It's just a normal relief, right? When markets have to have a relief after runs, of course. Everybody knew that eventually that was going to happen. If you were smart, or you were Michael Saylor. He knew. He's probably like, yeah, I was right. I knew this was going to come down. So, yeah, there he was right. It did come down. Now we're in this. Since the 23rd, right? Chop City. Just back, forth. And this line isn't exactly, I wouldn't say this line is exactly accurate. I probably did this from my phone at one point in time. But if you pop on the 1 hour, we've been in this since the 23rd. So it's about 2 days worth of real dog crap. And this is where we're stuck. We are stuck in this zone. Usually I'll follow the up wicks for setting my trend line zone, right? It's for the support and resistance. But because we've been in such a zone of dog crap for such like these 2 days, man, that's why you got to take a step back sometimes from the charts. Like today, I probably won't trade. No, I won't. I will not be trading today. I have made my profits last night, and I am locking out these accounts all day today until Asian session. And maybe, just maybe, we will do a special Asian session this evening. Let me know if you can't chat, right? You got to subscribe to the channel. So pop below on the video, click subscribe, and then you can put it in the chat and you can chat away. You can tell me I'm ridiculous. I don't care. I don't get emotionally upset. I've worked in the fire service for a very long time. That ain't going to bother me one bit. So, uh, yeah, I put this line up here because I want a little more breathing room than just this little intermediary zone. But put in the chat, you guys want to see an Asian session today? Let me know. We'll do it at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's Daddy's golden zone. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at right here as far as like where we're at today. If I wanted to trade this, right? Let's zoom on in. Yeah, I would wait for a breakout because the market is so choppy. I'm waiting for a breakout in an intended direction below or an intended direction above, specifically with MES. No ifs, ands, or buts, because this back and forth is where people lose money. This and choppy markets is where people lose money because there is literally no consistency, especially if I wanted to scalp it like I normally do, is there's no bounce off the bottom and then a return all the way up top, bounce off the bottom, return all the way up top to resistance. There's no consistent bounce back and forth. We're barely making it halfway. So you'll get in a trade and try and scalp the insides and you end up getting stuck halfway. You think it's going to go up. Your mind tells you, okay, I guess I'll get out here. You get out partially halfway there, so you take a small profit, which is nothing wrong. But for trading like futures, it's not an issue. When you start trading options, that's when it becomes a huge issue, because this is all your decay being eaten up. This is all that time decay right here, and that is just sucky. Now, if we go down to the 5-minute, I mean, I just scroll sideways and I could fit this whole thing in my chart. Obviously, like you got real obvious support down here. I mean, look at this. Power with volume on the RSI down here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but like, cause these are the Asian sessions, but like, look at that volume. There's people stepping in these zones very obviously, and that's in the after hours. Usually you don't see that in the after hours too much, so you do have a good pop there. So my expectation is I'm gonna wait to get into a trade if it comes down to this support and we have another pop. If we have another pop, so I'm looking at 7,427. If we have a touch there and a pop up with confirmation, right? That's one of the things I've noticed in my journal is, and that other people should know, is you need to wait for confirmation. I don't know how many times I've written in my journal, confirmation. The time that I've been going over it, that's where most of my mistakes start coming from. It is not the revenge trading, is none of that stuff. It's waiting for the confirmation. You need one of these confirming candles with volume. If you do not have that, you're not giving yourself the best opportunity, because there's no supportive buyers there. There's people not willing to step in. So that's a sign. If people aren't willing to step in more than the sellers, then man, you gotta wait for that. And good morning. Good morning, Angel. If you guys don't know, Angel is my E8 Markets friend. He's a goober, and he's one of my buddies that I talk to a lot about psychology and just trading in general. Also, we talk about the FIFA Cup. We talk about a bunch of nonsense. But is when it comes to giving out the old how I'm doing this morning, Angel, I'm good. I will, like I told the folks, I will not be trading today, but if I were to take trades today, this is how I would take those trades. I gotta calm down. I got pretty upset yesterday, so I'm taking the day off to reset and regroup mentally and cool off. I kind of need that. I could tell because I'm starting to get like really high, getting really not high. Sorry, I'm getting really worked up with trading. So I know personally with me that awareness, I need to take a day off. So I'm gonna take the day off, relax. If I just don't want to go into that cycle where I tilt and I start blowing accounts, blowing through money, and I don't want to do that. So, and that's the awareness part that we talked about in the psychology video, and it's a major step, at least for me, that I know. So I like that. I like being able to be aware. It's half the battle. But yeah, that's the zone I'm looking for on ES. I'm only looking long. Why am I looking long besides the technicals, right? Earnings are still good on companies. We have a little sneaky thing that I'm going to show you. It's very particular that you never would have guessed. But I'll show that in a minute. The other thing is it only takes one tweet. It takes one tweet, one mother tweet to have this thing go up. Okay, one tweet. Yeah, we're down here, but this happened not too long ago either, and it skyrocketed 100 points literally in 10 minutes. 10 minutes the last time this happened. So being short on ES is great, and that's your opinion. If you want to do that, you go for it. And I love shorting. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about shorting the world. But this one is one that I would be very cautious on shorting because all it takes, especially after the market went down so much, you don't think that the old Presidente is paying attention to that? You don't think he has his eye on it? You don't think his friends have an eye on it? And he's like, what can I say? What can I say on the markets? Maybe I could send a tweet. And tweet goes out. Where do you think that's going? I would hope it doesn't send it down, but more times than not, we're going to shoot back up. So I'd rather be in a position on a long than on a short and not have to deal with that possibility of getting cooked on a day like this, because you think that it's time to short the market, but really we just had a relief in the S&P 500 that is continually going up over the last, I don't know, generations. And you don't think there's going to be a pullback at some point in time? After all this run up, there's always going to be a pullback. You don't think now Trump's looking, or somebody in the markets, somebody's talking to somebody, it's reaching him, maybe it's reaching a tweet, and then there's going to be a pop. Now it's purely theory, okay? Purely theory. But that's another reason I do not want to be on shorts on ES, is because of that. And yeah, Angel, that's the cool thing. One tweet away from success. So I actually have a bunch of call options open for the S&P 500, and I have them like out pretty far because of this, and way out of the money. So I feel like it just seems like something like this is going to happen. So the last time this happened, oh my gosh. Boop, 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 boop. Let's find it. Yeah, here it is. Right here. We are, just so you're aware, we are on a 5-minute candle, right? This is a 5-minute candle. This 5-minute candle happened last week on, we traded this and we got the short the last week we traded this. This was on the 11th. And we got out of the short because we made our 1-to-1 ratio down here. And I'll switch it back over. 66 points from that one candle. To finish out the day, like I said, 112 points from one tweet within 20 minutes. You don't think that same thing is coming into play, that possibility could be there? It's there. And then look at it. And then you start going into the next day. and it gapped up again, opening, or to, was that ending the week? No, that's opening into after the weekend. Went up another buttload of points. And that was Iran, and the peace deal was signed, I believe. So I'm long. I'm long on ES until I see otherwise. But I'm going to wait until my zone hits. And my zone's going to be here. Now, could it break through and power all the way down past this 7,270? Yeah, 100%. My next zone that I'd be looking at is a psychological zone of 7,400. 7,400 would be the next zone, and that's just purely psychological because it's a round number. People like round numbers. So I would say that would be my next zone to look at, would be 7,400. Now, for you goldies out there, because I do like gold too, gold has been doing great things. It's been doing what I expect it to do. It's been a shortable market, and I love it because I short gold all the time. That's mainly how that's how I've created my success on shorting gold. But man, this is like a chucho. So, I mean, this is beautiful. Gold is another one too that I really don't want to be shorting for much longer. And I'm going to show you that secret that I'm talking about across the board because we don't have too much time left. We got some people coming in to trade. So I am going to get rid of this, 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 this. Okay. So here's what we're looking at. There you go. That's a lot better for you guys. For gold, it's another same thing. We're looking at 4,000. I guarantee you we are going to see some buying pressure at 4,000. It may drop about 10 points below it because just to collect stop losses and liquidity or liquidity traps, stuff like that. But this is going to be a good zone. If I see a retracement in the 4,000 zone, I'm going to enter that as a long. Oh yeah. Chris, what? I thought you liked to short gold. Well, not after all this. Not after all this. I mean, look at this. We're oversold on the RSI on the 1 hour chart. Here. Again. With that being said, there's always some sort of relief. And if you're going to do it around a psychological zone of support or an area of support. Because if you're going to do it willy-nilly just based on the RSI and not off of an added what the price action's showing you, you're going to get cooked. And when I mean cooked, you're probably going to lose that trade. But, it could. That's why you use all the technicals together, especially putting them together is a good thing. There's more to it. So that's where I'm going to look at going for longs is around the 4,000, 4,090. It could continue down, but that's why you're going to wait for a confirming candle before you get in, right? Because nobody wants to get in on a non-confirmed candle. So like here, I'll set an alert at just right there. I'll have it cross, pay attention to it for that 5 minutes. If it crosses, pops back up, I'm in, right? I need a good confirming candle and I'm in. So 4,000 will be my long there. Just a nice 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 base hit. I would just do a 1-to-1. If that's just me though. This is not financial advice. It's just what I'm looking at for the day. So let me tell you that little secret, okay? So you guys can get on with your day because I know I'm kind of dragging this on. But you're going to find this quite interesting. I feel like this is usually the telltale sign before something's changing in the market. right? Before we start seeing change. Remember my bond yield speech? Bond yields do correlate most of the time with, indices and currencies and things like that, right? Because the gold is a representation. It's again hedged against the US dollar, right? Well, bond yields are a representation in a way of the US dollar with the bond yield. Look at this. We're going down in our bond yields. We are having a significant sell-off, significant decline, and we've been doing that the last 2 days. I've been watching it very carefully right here. Right on Sunday, I noticed we came up and we rejected crossing the EMAs, pushing down, and we're even pushing down more below the 50 EMA with this massive candle that I just saw today. This is suspicious. We have everything dropping. One or the other has to eventually flip, and that's what I've seen in the past, is that this usually is a precursor before the other side, the other indices and the gold starts to have their transition back to, going bullish, right? Or not bullish, just having a green day. If we just break it down to the smallest point, right? These are looking less attractive. Bond yields are now looking less attractive because it went down 0.5 points. Maybe not. Maybe people are still into it. That's okay. That's what people do. That's what investors do. But as it goes down, sentiment starts to go down. So then people move their money over to indices. They move their money over to gold. They move their money over to crypto. So while everything over there is in the fear, like remember the fear greed index? We're in fear right now. Well, that's usually when people buy, right? That's what we've all been told by the books, by Warren Buffett, by all the folks that are smarter than us, is you want to buy on fear and sell at greed on that index. And I'll pop that up here too. Here, I'll pop it up now. Like we are in fear right now. We are in 27. Crypto, extreme fear. Okay, so I just think with all the data that we're going to get over these next couple weeks that are new data from all of the, the peace with Iran and being able to get oil now, which would help with a little bit with inflation. I think this is a telltale sign, adding into our technicals, but this is a fundamental telltale sign that we're going to have a rally back. So, Scott, hang on, let me finish this. But yeah, this is a telltale sign that we may have a rally back. Now, I do think it may take until next week. Just the way markets work, I think it'll take until next week, maybe Friday. But it's not pinpoint, right? It's not a pinpoint answer. I can't give that to you because the markets are going to do what the markets are going to do. But as far as my indications for why I'm going long in the others and taking those positions and looking at the data that I've seen, this is helping me make those decisions and also making me think there's a possibility that we're going to go in the other direction soon. Another thing is we do have some more data release this week. Now, I think this data release is going to be real crap because I don't think it's going to include the new, the war being over, right? Or at least the peace deal being signed. I don't think much of that is in there. So, but if you got to pay attention to that Wednesday. This will be a good indicator whether, maybe they hold off on hikes because the data is getting better. I wouldn't say this is the best, this is high impact data, but I don't think it's going to be too it's not the big ones that we want to look for, but they still consider this stuff. So I'll show you here, right? This week we got, on Thursday, we got core price, we got durable goods, GDP final, personal income, and personal spending month over month. So, man, if these come in lower, we may have some good signs. And so Thursday is going to be a big day because that's the only data that may be relevant to current economic positions with the, with the war being over. But the quarter over quarter, it's literally been like 2 weeks to a week that the peace deal has been signed. So you're not going to see that kind of change in the economy that fast, especially since this is a quarter. It's not like a day or a week change. So that's just something to pay attention to for Thursday. And our 10-year government bond yield, and gold's already doing stupid stuff, which is great. I mean, I'm loving it. I'd rather be in longs than be in shorts when the fundamentals are starting to change, the geopolitical climate's starting to change, it feels like something's gonna happen. So don't get caught up in the chop, okay? Don't get caught up in the chop. Wait for the opportunity to present itself. And you will easily, be successful as, predicting your trades or doing what you need to do. Or, maybe you make money doing this. I don't know. Okay? I know some of us make money and some of us don't. And we all have our phases where we don't and we do. But that's what I'm looking at. That's the overall picture for me. And I hope that you guys can see that and you guys enjoy it. If you haven't, please subscribe down below. And the other thing is, if you haven't, come in here in my description below on this live stream, right? Down below, right? Come down here. If you want to join, Mo's community, the Stock Mo community, where we talk about stuff like this and we do live stream trading and all that good stuff. Here it is, the lifetime, the monthly, and the monthly payment plan. And you get 40% off if you use code BREAD, okay? Just a fun fact. Fun fact for fun people. Also, I wanted to let you know, Scotty, I'm going to post that video, that psychology video that I saw with all those groups of traders. I'll have that posted today. Within minutes, I'll have it put in the special Discord, in the River Edge Futures part of it, in the Stock Mo community. I will get it put in here so that you guys have it. If you haven't, join us, jump in. I post my plays in here too. You haven't seen it a lot lately because of the choppy couple days, but I just want you to know it's all there. So if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me and I will answer it. If you want to do market analysis together and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Ask the expert. If you're already in the Discord, ask the expert. If not, DM me on Discord, okay?